The next award is a Senior S. This athlete showed impressive improvement throughout the season, always placing in the top 6 along with a 3rd place finish at home and a 4th in the final. Hardworking, coachable, would always listen to suggestions, volunteered to attend the optional meets, always striving to do better. He was disappointed in his result at the final, but he should be proud of his entire season. Senior S, Martin Lefebvre. The final 2 awards will be given to a truly remarkable athlete, always working hard in practice, spending time in the gym on his own time. Unfortunately, rarely a smile upon his face due to nervousness before every race. There was no talking to him before a race as he was plugged in and focused on the task at hand. However, once his race was completed, he'd be found at the finish line cheering on his teammates. Fastest runner in the league, finishing first in every ETAC race except the final where a lack of spikes and a muddy hill got the best of him. An unfortunate circumstance, the recipient of a Major S Award and the Bill Greenshields Memorial Trophy for all-around excellence in leadership in cross-country running. Please stand and help me congratulate Maxwell Meyer.
Welcome to Stanstead. Come coach girls soccer, they said. It'll be easy, they said. The girls are seniors, they know all the rules, and of course they're gonna follow them, right? Ha! From music choices to appropriate conversation in front of a male coach, we disagreed a little bit. And I'm sorry to say, I think I know a little more about Allie and Anthony's relationship than he does. And as far as music, I'm putting it forward to the faculty to ban High School Musical. All I can say is thank God Chloe Van Dyke forgot the DVDs for our trip to Case in St. John. Okay, now the start of the year. I didn't really know what to expect. This is my first year here. I've been warned about the low numbers that you guys have been having. And part of me was expecting to scrape together a team of 12 or so girls after stealing from junior and just grinning and bearing through a tough season. But I'm happy to say that we had over 30 girls come out to varsity on the first day of tryouts. So thank you very much, and I hope the commitment and passion for the soccer program continues next year. Miss Hamilton and I had as good a team as I could have hoped for. I mean, they listened most of the time. They came to practice happy and excited, sometimes, Chloe Van Dyke. Well, except for Abby and Emily Willis, they always had a smile on the face. I mean, even look at them now, it's huge. But seriously, the team did what any coach could hope for. They progressed and got better. Although our results at Case weren't as good as we could have hoped for, although 7th out of 16 isn't half bad. We learned a lot playing those stronger teams. We pushed ourselves to compete, and we got better each game. Just to put it in perspective, we played Salesian at the start of the year. I hate to say it, but we kind of looked like children playing against women. We managed to come out of that game with a 1-0 loss, thanks in large part to our goalie, Alyssa. But we struggled to get the ball out of our end. We struggled to complete passes. It was, I believe, our second game, and it wasn't the greatest. Sorry. However, after our return from Case, we played Salesian again to end our regular season. This time we scored first, and it was by far our best game of the season. It was amazing. And this time we looked like the women, and they looked like the children. And we carried that into our semifinal against Galt. We scored first with a beautiful free kick from Juliana from over 30 yards out. Although sadly, we lost Rena to injury and had lost Kim Lee the week before to surgery, and they were the only 2 players who played their position. So in a span of about 5 minutes with confusion on the field, trying to sort ourselves out, Galt scored 2 goals, eventually putting an end to our season. But the girls played hard right to the end of the game. We just couldn't get another goal, something we struggled with for the majority of the season. But I was proud of our season and the way the girls finished the game and the season as a whole. We finished 3rd in the league. We had 10 goals for and only 5 goals against, with games being either a 0-0 tie or 1-0 one way or the other, except of course when we played BCS and we rightly crushed them. The girls sacrificed ankles, knees, heads, and even faces on multiple occasions. This hard work gave us the best goals against record in the league. Again, allowing only 5 goals in our 10 league games, thanks in large part to our goalie Alyssa. Easily my pick for the best goal in the league. But we also did this with only 3 defense. Every other team played with 4 defense in the league. But we also did have Arena, who is just everywhere. So, as I said, they should be very proud, because we are. We really couldn't have asked for a better team. I hope you girls enjoyed the year and at least learned something, because I sure did. Okay, before we bring the girls up for the pins, again, I'd just like to thank Alta. With my first year here, she kept everything together, and I would have been lost without her. And especially Christine, who was our team manager, who kept track of time during the games, filled out all our goal sheets, kept the girls and myself organized. So thank you very much. But this player was another one who was always smiling. Even if she went an entire game without playing, she was always positive and gave 100% when called on. She played a couple positions for us. She scored for us. She picked up balls and cleaned up after practice. She was always positive, outgoing, and supportive. So we'd like to present the sportsmanship trophy to Valeria. Okay, so our first senior S. As I said, we played with 3D all year. It means it was a lot of work for our D. And as before, I said we had one of the best defenses in the league. This defender was smart, strong, always happy and helpful. She probably logged the 2nd most minutes on the team all year. She controlled the left side of the field, which was never her strong side, but she never complained about it. She held off the other team's best players on their right side, so our first senior S goes to Emily Willis. Our next senior S goes to a very, very talented athlete. She's always in the right place. She wins balls from girls twice her size and never flinches. If we had any doubt how valuable she was on the field, well, I already told you what happened when we lost her to an ankle injury in our semifinal game. So we'd like to give it to Rina Takahashi. And our last senior S of the night for us goes to the girl who played the most minutes for our team all year, often playing entire games and finishing looking like she could play again. After moving her ahead late in the season, she generated a bit more offense for us, but she was also a very strong defensive presence. She played all over the midfield, all over the front, so we'd like to give it to Mackenzie St. Pierre. You girls can come up. Next, we have two senior S's and our MVP award. Sorry, major S's and our MVP award, thank you. Our first major S goes to a girl who started the season playing a position she didn't know. She came off the field upset multiple times, thinking she didn't know what she was doing out there and that she had horrible games. But this girl dribbled through defenders, pushed through people, defended very well. She could score from the corner. She always worked hard. She led by example, so we'd like to give it to Florence Obe. And our second major S, and also our team MVP, there isn't much more I can say about her other than she was the best goalie in the league. So congratulations, Alyssa.
Thank you to all the 24 players, including our head manager, Peter Kai. Last year he was manager. He was improved, so he was head manager. All of the players, the practice players, the roster players, everyone who played, whether it's 1 minute or lots of minutes on this game, on this team, we're all contributed. I wrote it here. Sorry, I had to write it this year. I never usually do. Contributed to our excellent experience and our, you'll like this, eventual success. Now, first, a thanks to Docky, if he's awake. He and I are like a coaching tandem. You may have to look that one up too, tandem. But we're back together. We agree on most things, many things. But we do have a little bit of a yin and yang kind of a thing going on. You know, me, the very average historian, him, the brilliant scientist. What's another one? Me, the usually clear speaker, him, the blah, 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 blah. And the other one is me with the short and neat hair. And, okay, let's move on. Two phases of our soccer season: CASE, CIS tournament, and ETIC. CIS was at Vancouver for us. We had a lot of high hopes, but we met up some tough opponents. We went 1 win and 4 losses in that tournament, and the numbers don't lie: 2 goals for and 21 goals against. So that is tough to take. The hardest thing for us was to take that BCS at the same tournament did better than we did, but we'll come back to that again. A special thanks to Justin LaForce, who came with us as the junior boys keeper on that trip and had his own personal highlight, which was stopping a penalty kick and the rebound of that same penalty kick by a SAC, an SAC player, in the last seconds of our 3rd game. So well done to Justin LaForce, and thanks to him. Now we'll get to the ETIAC, where we played well, and it's almost the yin-yang thing. We had 40 goals for and 15 against in ETIAC league and playoff. But BCS has beaten us in the league, and that was a problem for us. So we set a goal, and that goal was to beat them in the final game of the season. And that is exactly what your senior boys soccer team did. It was tied 2-2 after regulation in that playoff final against BCS on their field, and in sudden death overtime, Kieran scored the winner. We won the trophy, and there were many, many photos, you'll remember, taken after that day. And the quote is, "I love it when a plan comes together." I would ask, and also ask Justin to join us after having played 1/3 of our games. All the team members to come up and get their team bars, please. Oh, yeah. All right, on to the awards. Quickly, we have 4 seniors and 1 sportsmanship, and I would like them all to come up together. Is that what you'd like today? Thank you. All of these people are very deserving of this S, and probably of even more in some cases. They are great players, but we had to make some decisions, and really we could have gone for 4 or 5 and be close to justifiable, but I think it needs to be done with cuts and with looking at what has to happen in the big, I didn't write this part, that's why I'm bubbling. So I'll move on. Senior S's, offensively talented goal scorers with tons of skill and effort, Olivier Daniel, Kieran Gallant, and Phil Martel, and the fourth, effort, time, and leadership, Alex LG. Stay there. And on sportsmanship, normally sportsmanship is very short and sweet with me. It's longer than usual. I did not know this player when he first arrived, or when I came back last year. He only arrived in November after the soccer season was over. This year he showed he would play wherever was needed. He's a quick and strong scorer who became a shining defender for us. But the reason for this is one guy who was always positive when things weren't going perfectly. After every huddle between Docky and I, when we would say, come on guys, keep working, there's one person who said, Yalla, let's go guys. And he meant it. He doesn't just say it, he meant it. People listen because it came from him. He's a gentleman, a nice player, and a nicer person, Sangeeth Prakash. So those five, please come up. When you play forward or mid, it means that someone else can make something happen, a mistake can happen. It doesn't usually cost your team a goal. But when you are a keeper or defender, it does. One person became our best defender and best mover of the ball and our best goal kick taker. We relied on him so often that I was often heard to say, he saved our bacon again. Caleb Goudreau. And the final, Major S and the Bobby Moore MVP trophy. Probably not suspense here. This is a young man who has played in 16 of his 18 so far teams and seasons at Stanstead College in his career. This grade 12 athlete was a leader in every way. He played the most minutes. He touched the most free balls all over the field, and especially with his head. He went everywhere. And every 50-50 ball, if you know what that means, he was there. He was a scorer, and most importantly, he was the hardest worker. I'm pleased to award a major and the trophy to Will Huckins.